Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about zodiac signs and astrologers, part 2 of 2. Now, in this segment, I'm going to be talking about the zodiac signs Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces, and how I believe they are on average as astrologers, in terms of their style and what have you. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant anyway. First off, as far as Libra goes, Libra, of course, is very refined and they're very balanced and fair-minded. They'll often give you what you deserve in terms of what you're paying for. As far as an astrology chart goes, obviously Libra is very equitable and fair-minded. They also could be very literary. They're very active on an intellectual level. Like Gemini and Aquarius, they often have very good speaking abilities, and will write your chart often with very good diction. Now, Libras also can be the ones that emphasize synastry in relationship charts. Remember, Libra is the sign that is synonymous with relationships. And Libra is also very artistic too. If they draw your chart, it might even have a little artistic quality to it. And the thing about this too is Libra is also about negotiation. So if there's something about your chart, or you don't think the price was right or is a little extravagant, they often will, I would say they can negotiate with you as far as that goes. And what Libra will do is when they do a chart, they're very, again, going back to the fact they're about equilibrium and balance, they will often disperse a certain amount of energy in one part of your chart and try to find about the same amount in another aspect or element of your chart, etc. So anyway, well, going to Scorpio. Well, Scorpio, as far as an astrologer, they might be about the best on average as astrologers. Remember that Scorpio is ruled not just by Mars, but like Pluto. Pluto can be connected with the occult, the supernatural. The occult can include astrology. And Scorpio is often, when they do charts, they can be very deep, very probing. The charts are often very provocative and insightful. And the thing about Scorpio, too, remember that they're a sign, they could often go beyond subterfuge and superficiality. When you're talking about, they could be very good at chart rectification, or if somebody is in there just messing with them, giving them a false or fallacious time or wrong birth data, they'll often be the ones to point out and say, hey, I don't believe this fits you. You're giving me the wrong information. What's going on here? And also, too, they could also be good at chart rectification. Remember, Scorpio is often enamored with solving mysteries. And if there's a conundrum, there's something when you don't have your precise time, Scorpio may be the best one to go to as far as the chart rectification goes. And also, I would say forensic astrology, I would say they're likely very proficient in as well, because they could be the ones, Scorpio is associated with mystery and deaths, and they're the ones that often can resolve these issues that are associated trying to find a body, for example, through astrology. They would be the ones, I would say, most likely to do that on average compared to the other zodiac signs. Again, on average is what I'm saying. And also, too, Scorpio, the fact that they're very secretive, they could be the ones that would be less likely to divulge any personal data on your astrology chart to anybody else. So anyway, well, the next sign up I want to talk about, well, Sagittarius as astrologers, they could be very, of course, very expansive and very exuberant and enthusiastic. They'll often accentuate and emphasize the positive in one's astrology chart. I would say Sagittarius of all the zodiac signs may be the most adept and most proficient in terms of relocation astrology, as far as traversing to a foreign country. But at the same time, even though Sagittarius is very buoyant and they like to emphasize the positive aspects and things, keep in mind that they will also speak the veritable truth, whether you want to hear it or not. Sagittarius could be very blunt and outspoken, much like Aries. Sagittarius may have a little bit more humor that's injected with it on average, but they're very much like Aries. Sagittarius will speak what they believe to be that unadulterated truth, at least what they believe is the truth in their minds. So they are the ones that are, again, they will very much speak their mind on some issues. They may be a little bit less detail oriented than some of the other signs, but they will still try to do what they can to get to the heart of the matter in your chart. And Sagittarius can be a little bit prophetic as well, so they could maybe see a little bit what lies ahead for people too, strongly, as far as looking into their astrology chart goes. So, and Sagittarius is, I mean, remember, they are the perpetual learners. They're the ones that often keep learning and learning about astrology. If they're astrologers, they will not be satisfied with just the status quo. They don't like to be stagnant in terms of what they want to learn. It's a sign of higher education. So, anyway. Well, going to the zodiac sign Capricorn. Well, Capricorn can, of course, I mean, they could be very traditional and orthodox. Capricorn may be the one on average to still perhaps doing their charts the old school way with the compass, the protractor, not being as reliant on the internet and computer calculations as opposed to the other signs on average. But don't get me wrong, I think just about everybody is now doing their calculations via the computer and internet now, because of course it does facilitate calculating the chart immensely. Now, also too, Capricorn is very, I mean, they're about the very strong business acumen, can be very business savvy. This is the sign that if they were to actually have an astrological business, they will be the ones that will be the most adept at in terms of setting it up. Capricorn is the taskmaster of astrology. They're also very good in terms of planning and premeditation. So a lot of these charts, they're very good at planning it out and understanding, well, how long it's going to take to do this chart, when I could have this chart done by, because they are very strongly premeditative and they're very strong as far as planning goes. So, and they are ones, and they can be, of course, very serious in the way they present their work, but they will take what they're doing very seriously. Of course, they're not going to be the ones that are going to be whimsical or inject something witty or be jocular, but they will give you, they will take this very seriously, and they'll be very professional in how they go about their business with your astrology chart, even when they're young. Capricorn is often very mature for their age, so even if you have a young Capricorn astrologer, they will often take this matter in terms of delineating your chart more serious than the other signs on average. Now, going to the zodiac sign Aquarius. Well, Aquarius can, of course, they could put a very, I mean, of all the zodiac signs, put a unique spin on your chart. They will have their own way of doing it that might be a little bit unorthodox, but they will, but Aquarius is very friendly, and when they speak, it's often in a very clear and perspicacious manner, very easily, readily understood. Like the other two air signs, Gemini and Libra, they often have very good literary ability. And Aquarius can also be about altruism. They will often do charts altruistically, and if people don't have their funds to be able to do it, they'll often be the ones that maybe to cut a break for somebody price-wise, because Aquarius can be very selfless, and it is the sign that is associated with astrology. The thing about, and remember that Aquarius is about the future as well, and they're very progressive, and they're often like, when they do a chart, they will look at more they will often emphasize what they think your future can be, and what your goal, and Aquarius is also very goal and aspiration oriented as well. So they will often emphasize that in your chart, and I'm being flippant in this, maybe they emphasize the progress chart because they're so progressive, but as far again as Aquarius goes, they will often, I mean, again, they will they're the sign that, I mean, this is a sign, Aquarius, that will have their own, often have their own unique way in terms of their chart delineation and how they do the astrology chart, and will leave a certain trademark on it. You could rest assured in many instances. So, and the thing about, and the last but not least, I want to talk about Pisces as an astrologer. Well, Pisces, I mean, they could have a little mystical aura about them, and if you're going into a Pisces home to do the chart, if they hadn't, or if they have some kind of business, it often there might be some mystical quality to it. You might be going in there and it might have some incense or something going on in there, and there's something very mystical about the zodiac sign Pisces. But they'll also, hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back. But remember, Pisces is often about self-sacrifice, and Pisces can often be the ones that will do charts for others that have very limited funds, that are less fortunate, the people that are impoverished, the hungry, the homeless, and because Pisces is very empathetic, but they could also be very proficient, I would say, at predictive astrology, because Pisces can be actually very mediumistic. I could often see Pisces as being like a psychic astrologer and have a very intuitive quality that they'll incorporate in their chart readings. Virgo is about the details. Pisces is about seeing the whole picture. They're good at basically doing like a synopsis of a chart and summarizing it, probably more so than others on average, and also doing it through filmography. Renowned YouTube astrologer Alyssa Sharp does have a Pisces ascendant, and she's obviously gained a lot of notoriety for doing YouTube astrology videos. So, and anyway, it's really about all I have to say as far as the zodiac signs and astrology charts. And remember that I want to just say that Pisces also has a lot of compassion as well. And when they read a chart, they're probably going to put it in a way, even if it's something negative or derogatory, where they're not really going to say it in a way where it might hurt someone's feelings, because they could be very sensitive to others' feelings. So like the zodiac sign Cancer. And the one last thing, I want to backtrack to Capricorn as astrologer. I think they could be the ones that could be very adept at being a mentor or teacher as far as astrology goes. And Aquarius can be very much for the collective, and ones that can actually get their friends involved and become enamored with astrology and doing group-related things as an astrologer. So anyway, people, that will conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.